Right, the test. Mental, camera, record, equals car. It's all quiet. See how long it'll take. It's just a little ongoing joke, don't take it too seriously. But yeah, anyway, as you can see, bore da, I'm back at the mental. 25 plus years of documenting. And looks like have they filled the trench in? I was here a couple of days ago doing an update, as I've been doing now for 25 plus years. Just thought I'd mention that again. And they're putting electric feed into the mental, which is good news, huh? And I think they've filled it in now. They must have run the. Here comes the car. They're slowing down now. I must admit they're slowing down. But yeah, I'll just show you a bit of the trench. Perhaps you can see a bit of the cable and what have you they're doing. But yeah, 25 plus years of documenting the mental. Just thought I'd mention it, just in case I never mentioned it. But yeah, you can see I think they've come across there. And you can see, well, see cables and stuff there going down the trench, and they filled the trench in. It goes all the way down there and then across. But here comes the car. So yeah, in this video, I just thought I'd talk about the treatment of the patients over the years now. If you've been, if you're interested in the mental, obviously, but if you look and you'll see people commenting, and there's quite a few saying, "Oh, the patients, how cruelly treated they were, even tortured, mistreatment of the patients, and how they used to go in the wards, you'd hear them screaming and this and that." And I just thought I'd have my say on it. I've been dealing with the mental from, say, the mid-60s when I was a kid growing up, and we used to live in Loveland Garage with Tide. My father used to run Loveland Garage, and we were the only taxi. There was no other taxi in Denbigh. Anyone that wanted a taxi in Denbigh, and especially the mental, whether it was a patient, staff, doctors, visitors, or what have you, we'd do the job, because there was no other taxi in Denbigh. And I used to, we got a taxi from the mental, jump in. And when I was a kid, I used to go, and we used to pick up fares from the front buildings. That's when I witnessed a patient fall into his death. That's when I was on the taxi, and I was the only one that witnessed it. He fell down the front steps and he died instantly, and I was the only one that witnessed it. I was in the taxi at the time. But we used to pick him up from all over the wards. We used to go in, I used to walk in. Sometimes it would be hunt the fare. Have you ordered a taxi? No, not me. Try him. And we'd go around, and we'd even go in and tell a van. We'd go up there, all over the wards. And not once did I hear a patient scream in all them years. Not once did I hear a patient scream, and not once did I see any evidence of mistreatment or cruel treatment of patients. And like I say, if it was going on, that was in them years, 60s, mid-60s onwards. I've just seen something, but I can hold my hand up and say I did not see any evidence of mistreatment. Perhaps in the very, very early years, and I'm talking early, perhaps they were mistreated, but because they didn't know how to treat them. Perhaps they thought they were doing the right thing, because mental health, they didn't understand it. It was misunderstood. In the old days, if you were epileptic, say, if you suffered from epileptic fits, you were insane. You were mentally ill. They just did not understand. So perhaps in the very early days, they were mistreated, but because they thought they were doing the right thing, but they didn't know nothing about it. But I can honestly say, in all them years since I was a kid growing up, I've had a lot of dealings, wandering around the wards and stuff, and I never saw any evidence of mistreatment, cruelty, nothing like that. And as I said in all these videos, in the early years, the patients were locked in from 10 PM until 6 AM. They were literally locked in. There was no staff, no doctors, no attendants, no one, just the patients. They used to literally just lock them in the wards. But that stopped, that stopped. And as I said, from taxis, we used to do the wages run. We used to pick up the wage accountants and stuff, and go to it was the Midland Bank then, it's HSBC now, but then it was the Midland Bank. They used to come have a briefcase, they used to come out, and it'd be full of money, notes, because in them days, it was, you know, in a wage packet, there must have been thousands in that briefcase to pay all the staff. I'd be going around the wards, as I say, all over the place, and I never once heard a single patient scream. So I don't know where they get this from. You read these comments and, oh, I can hear it now. I could be people. One used to pick up his mother, used to work then. He could hear all the patients screaming and this and that. I don't know. I've never come across anyone screaming or any evidence of mistreatment. Nothing whatsoever. And I used to know a lot of the patients, the ones that were allowed out. You got a lot of patients were locked in for obvious reasons. Some were in the airing courts. There's 2 airing courts either side of the front buildings. They were allowed there. Some were allowed just in the grounds, and some were allowed out. They come into town. I used to know a lot of them. Used to get to know them, and they were happy to get back. They were, oh, I've got to get back to. They used to call it the hospital. They never used to call it the mental, obviously. Oh, I've got to get back, and that they felt safe there. If anything, I would say that they felt safe. They were always glad to get back to. Oh, I've got to get back to the hospital, and you know, because they felt safe. But as I say, with these people saying, oh, how cruelly and even tortured. You know, I don't know, I just not seen any evidence of it anyway, so that's just my side of it. And with regards to the burials, the original chapel was the front, above the front door there, and then they built a chapel, which is in the trees there, you can't see it from here. For 200 it would fit, 200 people could fit inside it. With regards to burials, obviously there were a lot of deaths. Not a single patient was buried in the grounds of the hospital. Not a single patient. Up until 1880, they were buried at St Marcella's, which is way over the other side, or Whitchurch, or Eglwys Wen, whatever. It's the church with 3 names. Up until 1880, they were buried in the graveyard there, and then from 1880 on, they were buried in Denbigh Cemetery. And if you're interested, I've done a couple of videos of showing them locations, and in Denbigh Cemetery I've filmed the plaque. There's a memorial plaque there commemorating, you know, remembering the patients of the NWH. So yeah, so that's just my experience, as I say, from mid-60s growing up as a kid. I used to be in the hospital all the time, different parts of the hospital, and not once did I hear a patient scream or nothing like that. And not once did I see evidence of mistreatment or even torture. So that's just my experiences. And as I say, I think, you know, from what I've seen, the patients, they were glad to get back because they felt safe in the hospital, as they used to call it. So that's it. So thanks for watching. 25 plus years of documenting the mental. Just in case I never mentioned it. Anyway, thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you again.